Tripod thing, you go. Oh, I'm recording. Good day, YouTube. Shane Stevens back here with another video. Today, I'm going to show you our old 359 because a lot of you have asked, why isn't it on the road? What's it need to be on the road? Can we see more of it? And I think today, finally, I will show you why it's not on the road. I'll show you in between the frame rails. I'll show you the interior. I'll show you pretty much all of it. We'll start it up. We'll move it around. It's a little windy out here, so bear with me on that. If you hear the then that's just the way she goes, because you know, can't really beat Mother Nature. So anyway, without further ado, this is the truck we'll be looking at today. Our old 1985 359 Peterbilt. Bought it brand new, had it since brand new, still on the yard, but she is in a lot rougher shape. Wants to be on camera again. It's been a while. No, it's not a chew toy. Not a chew toy. So a little over a year ago, with a couple buddies, I made a video on this thing starting, getting it started, because it hadn't started in, I don't know, a year or two then. So now I'm just kind of hoping that it's going to start, because I really don't feel like redoing that all. But if you haven't seen that video, I'll put it at the very end for you to click on. You can watch it. Keep watching this one, obviously. Hit that subscribe button while you're at it.
First start?
I haven't tried yet. Oh. I'm waiting for your gator sound to be gone. That'd be the boss man. Driving around on the old gator. Ruining my shots. Win too. So. Anytime you can shut gator off. Alright, that's quite enough for me. Let's start this thing up. Hopefully she starts first fire, because we haven't had her started in a bit. So here we go. We got some battery. Put on the clutch just to help her start. Check she's in neutral. Polo throttle like that old LTL 9000 had. Beauty, fired up like a champ. We've gotten over 70 pounds of air pressure now, so she should be aired up enough to move. Push this throttle back in a bit. Alrighty. looking kind of pretty. I'll take you for a little tour around it, inside it, pop the hood, show you what it needs. I mean, it's been here on our yard since 1985. My truck's been around forever. It means a lot to me. I'm sure it means a lot to my dad, but it is a project for another time. All right, let's get this big truck tour started. So we'll start with the outside. As you can see, the headlights need a little love. This mount, it's broke. I'm sure the housings and everything work perfectly fine. This one needs a little straightened out, it looks like. Fenders and fender mount brackets, both pretty tough. This fender is real tough on this side. I'll flip the truck around in a sec so the sun's on the other side. I'll just do this side right now. Our bug deflector here was in perfectly mint shape until a tornado came and took this corner off. Tree fell right on the truck. Luckily not doing any damage but it pretty much hit the fender. So this fender on this side, pretty rough, pretty tough. Crack, blah blah blah, need a new one of those. The hood itself's got a little bit of a weird old wear to it, like it kind of humps up at the front. I'll show you when I open it. Bumper is relatively good. It's got 379 plates on it, so a 379 bumper will fit, but you can take those plates off and go back to old school. But I just assumed that it was cheaper to buy a 379 bumper back in the day than it was for a 359. It's got the old Bud style hubs on it with the Bud style rims. I'd love to change this over to hub piloted, which we have 2 front hubs and we have 4 for the back, but they're sitting in the shop and I went to change them one time and then it wasn't a good idea. So it's something I'd like to do in the future, but not necessarily right now. Got some newer air breathers on it. I put these on a long time ago, but needs a little polish, needs a little love. The tree it sits under, you know, does its deal on the whole thing. But she's pretty solid, I guess. I mean, I've seen trucks more rotted out here that are a lot newer. Still got the old school Stevens paint on her. Little rust at the top here. Same with the windshield. Got the old school doors and the old school mirrors and the old school windows. Stacks are relatively solid, actually. The frame's not too bad under here. Could use a little love, obviously, sandblast if you're gonna go through the work. I polished this tank years ago and she's still nice and shiny. What's up? Take a look inside the boot box. Oh, being safe, the original step. Pretty clean in there, actually. Not clean on my truck is, that's for sure. This is where she gets a little more rough, is this back frame here. So this is all cosmetic, easily replaced. She's probably taken a couple glad hands to the back of the bunk before. Could use some lights, could use some love, obviously need some paint. Big dent here, which is obviously pretty unfortunate, but what do you do? Like I said, this was a learning truck for a lot of people. A lot of people learn how to drive in this truck and their first truck to drive and whatnot, yada yada yada. Back here we got the Bud piloted wheels as well. Like I said, we got 4 hubs inside the shop that are off something that I really wanted to try to put on here, see if it can happen. Might do that in the future and then scrap the rest of it, whatnot. Frame here is relatively okay. Obviously got this kind of rot, which happens on pretty much everything, so you know, it is what it is. It's pretty straight, really. I know one of the sides is kind of kinked in a bit or fixed once or something like that, but the real problem here is these inner frame rails. These inner frame rails, just like on that LTL 9000, you know, they're pushing out, there's rot in between, they need to come out. Need to put some new ones in there. Other than that, you know, it's pretty solid. Realistically, like this is all solid. Obviously needs all new springs, whatnot. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 airbags now. Whoa, someone fixed that up, right? So that's nice. As you can see, tires are good for another year or 2. That's for sure. But there's no point in putting, you know, fresher tires on here because it's the old Bud piloted wheels. These are 24-inch, which we don't really have. So I'll take a quick little look at the inside of things. She's dirty. She's old. That's just the way she goes. Has a wet line, Probably hasn't worked in a long time. That's not moving for nobody, I don't think. Yeah, spray seized. Not sure what this is, if someone wants to tell me. Carpet's obviously a little weathered. Got the old Corvette dash, which is cool. Everyone seems to love that, that's for sure. Radio is MIA, so no tune. Sorry guys. Back when things were cool, and the old still got ash in there. I wonder how old that is. That'd be interesting to know. What do we got here? Power takeoff. We got our air conditioning controls, lighter. Had some cool lights here. Oh boy, she was fancy. That pull-out throttle. Here's all the gauges. We've got air cleaner, manifold, volts, amps, oil PSI, engine oil temp, your RPMs, your speedo, fuel, water temp, air PSI, main transmission temp, front driver temp, and oil temp. And then this, I would assume, I don't know, maybe it's just a timer, like just a simple timer. I don't know. Someone tell me what's going on. Obviously your air doesn't hold too much air too well, but now that those airbags are in, that should help a thing or two, because there was pretty sure only one in there last time I checked. Not sure what these are all for. Maybe they're fuses or something. Someone can tell me that too. Anything in here? Oh, good old owner's manual, I think. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it's not a bad looking old truck. So here's your key. Hits that annoying alarm until your truck's aired up and ready to roll. Push to start. Pull out throttle. It's got a 13-speed Eaton in her. Pretty sure that's for heating or something. Like I said, I'm only 26 years old, so I don't know so much about these old trucks, but it's been around here since I was born. So I know a bit about it, but if you guys know anything, feel free to let me know on any other information that you may have about this interior. So now we'll move to the back. Sitting here in the bunk with a flashlight so you guys can see what's going on. It's obviously got the small hole, which means you can't really lean the seat back too well. If we were to restore this, about a foot of that would be coming out. Big hole, seat back, cruising. There's actually a lot of room in these old bunks for a flat top. Nice little side door, you can get out. Not sure why you'd really want to use that. I mean, it's not too hard to crawl to the front door, but I guess that's the way she was back in the day. Got the old speakers, little storage compartments. Interior in here is actually not too bad, realistically. Gnarly old bed. Probably a couple kids made on that thing, I tell you. And more storage, little clothes hanger area. Carpet back here as well, in a bit better shape. Up there is not in good shape. And here's your control for your AC, a little light that's popped out, another speaker. Classy Peterbilt logo. Yeah, she's a pretty clean old truck, really. Like in here, I probably would never even replace this interior. But there is something I would love to put right there, and that's this wooden plaque of this truck when it's brand new, pulling for Trojan back in the day, which you can see. The Trojan colors are slowly peeking back out. The roof of the truck looks the exact same. So that's basically it for the bunk. It's clean, it's nice, doesn't really need to be replaced. Obviously a couple things need fixed, but it's a cool old truck. Definitely big hole it. If the time ever came, make it even better. But now let's go pop the hood and see what that cat looks like. Hood opens a lot easier than my truck, that's for sure. Got the hood popped. She's got an old cat in her, 3406 I do believe, not 100% sure. She's a little leaky, like any old diesel, but you know, little paint, little love. Frame's mint under the hood, really. You can see the old Trojan colors here, pretty much the same color as cat. She's Anything on here I can see? Nothing that tells me really anything. But this is her. Missing a rad cap, needs some love there. Pretty clean up here on top of things. Needs the new windshield. That's actually the AC right there. That's old school for you. All you old boys probably know exactly what that is. And how, I don't know, do they work good? Did they work good? I'm not sure. Inside of the hood, not too bad really. But these fenders both need to be replaced at some point. But yeah, she's an old cat, single turbo. Jump down off of that. This is, honestly, this isn't as bad as I once thought it was. That's not too bad. Center part of the hood, all good. Fenders, gotta go. Walk around the other side of the engine. Yeah, she's leaky, she's reeky, but she is a mint old girl. Fires up no problem. Unless you watched my video a year ago and you know it doesn't fire up, no problem. All it needed was battery. Now that is a cat engine right there. Just leaking the oil. Safe to say it needs a new seal or two somewhere. But she's strong, she's sturdy, she's not really rotted out. I mean, there's a little bit of surface rust here and there on the front, so that's good. But the back of the frame is not so good. Steers are about ready to blow at any second. It's a little bit of weather checking on them. But this side's not too much different, you know. It's got the newer breather. This one seems to be in a little bit better shape. We got the big fancy lights there. Yeah, that frame's relatively clean. Like, it wouldn't be that big of a project, really. The more I look at this, the more I see that, you know, it's doable. It's definitely doable. Anything's doable with the time and the money. And here's your door back into the bunk. I guess you don't want to open too well, but then I guess you could hop up and in, or, you know, that's where the lot lizards get out. Oh, that didn't work. So that's basically the engine bay. Obviously it's leaking, needs a little bit of love, couple seals, whatnot. Take it apart, put it back together. A lot of work. And back there's the old 13 speed. Bunch of wires and hoses, but relatively clean. That's not that clean. All right, I'm gonna shut the hood. I'm gonna turn this thing around and we'll take a look at this side. Let's take a look at this side of things. So we left off under the hood. I showed you how this steer tire is ready to blow any day. This fender is actually in a little bit better shape. There's no cracking, but this corner has been hit and this is all no good, so it needs to be replaced. Stacks would obviously get replaced. This is the biggest amount of like rust and rot, I guess you could say, on the truck, it seems. This little tank here is the hydraulic tank for the wet line. Sounds empty to me. No hydraulic oil in there, but she must have ran a dump trailer or some kind of trailer that needed some hydraulics to move around. Big old fuel tank. But wires like this obviously are a little frail and old, would need replaced. Catwalk, it is what it is. But the frame seems relatively good. There's obviously in there a bunch of rot and surface rust that needs to be taken off and painted, cleaned up. Realistically, it's actually not that bad on the outside. We got some broken bolts here. A lot of them that I've never noticed until now. But there's the problem. That's the biggest problem, is the inner frame rail, which isn't that much money to replace, but it's the job itself. Here's our brake chambers. They are mint, good to go. Another, I don't know, 3 or 4 safeties on those for sure. That one's actually not too bad. This whole housing is really good. Like that old Kenworth that I have, project truck, is nowhere near that solid. You know, they don't make things like they used to. A lot of this truck is really solid for its age. Anyways, that's pretty much it. She obviously needs new tires, needs new rims, it needs all the new bushings, it needs all taken apart and all putting back together. It's a job, it's a project, it's another day's work, but it is a cool old truck, and I would love to give it the love that it deserves and the time it needs to be good to go down the road again. But it all takes time and it all takes money. So maybe someday. No, for sure someday. I would love to just put the truck on the road pretty much the way it is with the new headlights, you know, obviously redo the frame rail in the back, new brakes, new everything safety wise, but then just leave her all historic and badass just like this. That'd be great. But I don't see it happening in the near future. But it will one day happen. As always, thanks for watching. This is the old girl. This is the shape she's in. This is probably the way it's gonna stay for quite a while. One day, it'll happen. There's a set of hubs in our shop that probably would fit on this, and front and back, turn it all into hub piloted rims, tires, nice and easy, not these old buds like it's got now. But this is the way she goes, you know what I mean? It's a sweet old truck, but she needs a lot of love. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you've been watching for a while, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support. Go back and check out some of my older videos. I got lots of them, all about trucking. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Maybe what you would do with this old girl. I mean, if you had the money. And as always, we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.